Hi, everybody. Welcome into another edition, episode 104 of the Lab Epstein Hitting Podcast. Great to have everybody back after a week off. Happy Independence Day. Happy 4th of July. Happy birthday, America, on this release date, July 4th, 2022. And again, thank you for listening on whichever platform that may be. And of course, watching on YouTube as well. Our main topic today, a mental analysis, getting away from, at least this week, the physical side, talking more mental. That's our main topic. We also have a lot of material to get to. So let's get right into it with professional evaluator, successful business owner, former coach, friend, and co host, Jake Epstein. You're late, boy.
It's good to be here, Jim. I'm on time as usual.
I want to get to a tweet from Next Level Baseball on Twitter. Saw this earlier in the week. And the reason I'm getting so quickly into our material is because I don't want to hear about the Avalanche. So Next Level Baseball tweets, your least talented player will magnify the strengths of your culture. Your most talented player will expose the weaknesses of your culture. Get it? Real baseball folks will understand this. You're certainly a real baseball folk. Your father was, Ted Williams was. You guys had a very close relationship with the Ted Williams family. You're a baseball folk. What is your thoughts on that tweet and talking about culture as it relates to the least talented player and vice versa?
Yeah, I agree. I get it. I think that, maybe at the major league level, it might be a little bit different, or professional level, but, at the amateur level, 100%. At the college level, definitely agree. The weakest, everybody pulls for the weakest player. And I don't want to say weakest as in worst player, but maybe the less naturally talented player, maybe the smallest player, maybe the player that has to work extra hard to be able to compete in inter squads, to be able to compete in practice. I mean, this is Rudy, right? This is the whole Rudy mindset of everybody pulled for Rudy. Everybody wanted him in there, to get a chance. And if you have a team that supports that, then those are players that love their teammates. Those are players that love their team and they want their team to succeed, but not at the expense of alienating people that are on that roster. And at the same time, you talk about your best players and your leadership. I mean, if you have a leader that is all for themselves, if you have a leader that's putting themselves in a different category, or even a different, almost like a different locker room, they're off by themselves. They have their music, they have their headphones on. They're not engaging with their teammates. That's just as bad as alienating somebody on the other end of the spectrum. So if you have leaders that, I just saw a wonderful thing with Max Scherzer. He went down to did you see that? He went down to
Double
a
A
rehab assignment. And I mean, he bought I don't know what it was, $7,000-8,000 spread, for the team. He bought ribeyes and lobsters, and everybody feasted after the game, which is not normal in the minor leagues. And then he bought everybody a pair of earpods. He bought 25 guys and handed them out. Had somebody, he didn't even hand them out. He just bought them and had the clubhouse guy hand out earpods. I mean, that's just a quality human being that was a minor leaguer at one time. Now he's making buku bucks and he's trying to take care. So those are the kind of leaders you want on your team that engage the entire team and that root for the entire team. That's a great statement. That's a good tweet, because it's absolutely right.
Yeah, you brought up a lot of good points there. And you talked about the major league level and culture at the professional level. I look at it from culture standpoint at the collegiate level. A guy who coaches 8 minutes from where I live at the University of Tampa, Joe Urso, the main pillar, I think, of any successful collegiate program. I don't care if it's basketball, John Calipari, Bill Self, football, Nick Saban, Lincoln Riley, or baseball, Joe Urso, or the guy who just got hired, I think, at Florida State.
Link Jarrett, yeah.
Right. His name was slipping my mind. Culture, though, to me is the overarching theme to any program, whether it's good or bad at the collegiate level, because this, being a former hitting coach yourself at the collegiate level, you've got guys coming in 2 years from JUCO, sometimes only one, then they get drafted 3 years, get drafted 4 years, sometimes 5 years. Players come and go. There's not that long-term contract and financial commitment. So the main pillar of any successful or non-successful program to me is a good culture. Now, on the professional side, and you mentioned it too, at the major league level, guys like Manny Machado, Bryce Harper, Juan Soto in the future, their contracts are tied to that organization's culture, not just what they do on the field, but what they do off the field as well. So the culture and those contracts are more mutually exclusive with the player rather than at the collegiate level, where culture is front and center, whether it's good or bad.
Collegiate level is really tough now with the portal, with the amount of transfers that are going on, and it breaks my heart. I saw there was a North Carolina State player, and I don't know his name, but he had a wonderful year. Obviously, he's a great player.
Oh, Tommy, what's his name? He hits all these, it's all the home runs, right?
Yeah, I mean, this guy, he ends up at North Carolina State, which is a really good program, right? Mm-hmm. But it's not an SEC school, right? So he goes out, and North Carolina State probably gave him a ton of money to get him, right? Or maybe he was an under the radar guy that they helped develop. They put in time, they put in effort, they loved this kid, they trained him, he was part of their culture. He goes out and has a great year, and now all of a sudden he can go wherever he wants.
Right.
And what does he do? He goes wherever he wants. And that part of it is killing the college culture, because you don't have the leadership that you had to. These were the guys. He was the guy. He was the dude. He was the captain. And it's like, okay, the captain, now all of a sudden we get a new fresh batch of recruits that come in, and you teach them the Wolfpack way or whatever it is. And now you don't have that. And it's very sad to me. It's going to create a very difficult culture. And I've seen it already in the last couple of years with all the transfers. It's always very difficult with junior college guys that come in and they're 2 years older than the freshman class that came in, and everyone's trying to fit in. And it usually takes the entire season or late into the season for everyone to gel. Now, all of a sudden you have superstars coming in and NIL contracts, and guys that can make a little bit of money on the team and guys that don't make a little bit of money on the team. And it makes life a little bit difficult for that culture. So you're absolutely right when it comes to the leadership, and the coaching staff is really all you have to keep guys, within that umbrella, to keep them focused and to keep them hungry and striving for a common goal. You better have a very good leader. Otherwise, it's going to be anarchy in that clubhouse. And that's never a good thing.
People don't know, but your friend Jimbo, one time, way back when, played North Carolina State University. Mm-hmm. Lost 32-3. Oh.
I guess they were hitting then too.
Russell Wilson was on that team, in fact.
Oh, right on.
Yes, he was. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast.
He plays for the Denver Broncos now. And
right.
Speaking of the city of Denver,
be sure to subscribe to the podcast, Apple, Google, Spotify, and watch us on YouTube, the Lab Epstein Hitting podcast page. Let me tell you something. Okay, there were too many men on the ice in Game 5. That was a bullshit call, and you know it. Or whatever game it was. That was a bullshit call.
It was Game 3. And what about Game 4?
Okay, let's talk about how the injured list.
Let's
talk about the injured list. The injured list for the Tampa Bay fucking Lightning. Okay, everybody was hurt. My God, Braden Point had a torn quad. He had a broken clavicle bone. What? Give me a break.
Yeah, they should have swept like the Avalanche did and had more rest time. The most proud I am of the Avalanche victory was the fact that there were 500,000 people celebrating the victory and no arrests. That's pretty amazing for a city call it Denver size.
You know what I like?
Maybe the police just said, we'll just let them go. Or maybe people behave themselves.
Or maybe, and we don't know, we're alleging. Maybe the police joined in. What I like is the NHL ratings for the Stanley Cup were very, very high, which I like a lot. I think hockey's a great sport. And by the way, I've preached this before on this show. Baseball players should also try to wrestle once in their lifetime, and they should play hockey. Two skill sports. One teaches you about your body, and the other one is a skill sport, and it's very hard to play. So play hockey. If I have kids one day, they're going to play hockey.
Yeah, hockey's awesome.
We spoke about Bryce Harper there for a quick second. I brought him up about culture, and the same thing with Machado and et cetera, et cetera. Bryce Harper's hurt now. If people haven't seen it, Blake Snell hit him in the thumb. and he's going under the knife. He's going to be out for 8 weeks, depending on the Phillies season. He's going to come back. I would think if they're out of it come September, I'm not sure that's going to be the case, but if they are, that they would shut him down, of course, with the elbow problem and the thumb. But I want to just losing Bryce Harper is especially with what he's done second half from last year on is huge for the Phillies. I want to get your thoughts. We're gonna play a little game here. Let's play a little game.
Ooh,
It's 4th of July. Happy birthday, America. We're gonna play a little game. I've got the top 5 guys in the Phillies lineup right now that you would see on an everyday basis. Everybody outside of that is sort of interchangeable. Didi's been a little bit more productive than usual. Stott's young. Vierling, who I love, is at times hot, at times cold. So we're gonna go with 5 guys here. 5 guys you see every day. You should see every day in the lineup, depending on if they're not hurt. And again, all of this is based off of my opinion. I don't have any stats in front of me. I don't have any analytical statistics, but I just want to throw this out there at you. So here are the top 5 guys for the Phillies in their offensively in their lineup. They should be every day. Schwarber, Castellanos, Hoskins, Real Muto, boom. Let's play a little game. What order do you put those guys in to maximize the success of your lineup without Bryce Harper in it?
I don't know. I don't even know who those guys are. No, I'm just kidding.
One of them, well, actually 2 of them we've done mechanical breakdowns on. So that is also bullshit.
God, I don't know where you would put the lineup. I mean, those are really good hitters. So, those are really good players. I think you would have to figure out, on base percentage, obviously. I don't know who has the highest on base percentage with those guys, Real Muto or Schwarber will probably walks a lot. Say the game. Who are the other ones? Bohm.
Schwarber, Castellanos, Hoskins, Real Muto, Bohm.
Yeah, that seems like a good order to me, Jim, right there.
I'm
just kidding.
You're being lazy for this segment. You want me to give my order first? You want me to give my order first? Maybe that would help.
Probably Castellanos second.
Okay.
Maybe Real Muto. How do you say his name? Real
Muto. JT Real Muto.
Better.
He's very Italian. Once a quarterback, or would have been a quarterback at the University of Oklahoma.
Can he run?
He can run a little bit.
Yeah.
You want me to give my order?
Probably have Bohm last, Schwarber behind Castellanos. All right. Yeah. What's your order?
All right. I'll give my order since you don't really watch the Phillies. CrossingBroad.com will love this break.
Sorry, me and everyone else that doesn't live in Philadelphia.
Yeah, including myself, by the way. But it's a big story in baseball.
It is. Those guys got to come together.
It's a big story. Losing Bryce Harper, he's been the best player.
Vierling's brother was a really good player too. I had him at Mizzou when I was there.
Whose brother now?
Vierling.
He's good. They're good. They're good ball players.
They have a good fan. Like they play, man. Those kids.
I gave Vierling when he was in the minor leagues. I gave him a 60 hitting grade overall.
Yeah.
And somebody asked me, "Well, why is he a 60 hitting grade?" And I go, "You'll see." And now he's in the big leagues. And last year, by the way, he hit over 300.
I think he went to Notre Dame too.
He did. He was teammates with young Kevin Biggio of the
you
Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah.
All right, here's my lineup.
Yeah.
CrossingBroad.com, a website out of Philadelphia, covers everything Philadelphia. Maybe we'll get on that website.
Yeah, maybe you should have queued me up for that one.
I have Schwarber leading off. Okay, number 1. Boom. Castellanos batting second. Now, usually I'm for, not against the best hitter batting third, but I'm for the best hitter batting second. But in this case, Castellanos is not the best hitter right now. Hoskins is the hottest hitter. Rhys Hoskins batting third. Why? He's protecting Castellanos. That old adage. Oh, he's protection. Alec Bohm batting fourth. Interesting. Right? JT Real Muto batting fifth, protecting Bohm. Real Muto struggling a bit, but he's more of a veteran hitter. He doesn't need as much protection behind him. What do you think of that lineup?
I like it, Jim.
All right, let's move on.
Bryce Harper, by the way. I like the first 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you would exchange Real Muto for Bohm, flip them.
I would probably have Schwarber. I'd like to have Schwarber with more guys on base.
So you would drop Schwarber in the lineup.
Yeah.
How about Hoskins leading off? Man, you know what? I hear your phone ringing in the background. It's the Phillies. They want you to be their hitting coach.
I do like Hoskins. He's so basic.
Yeah.
He's so like just. He reminds me of Eric Karros. Remember Eric Karros back in the day? Yep. Just like, ho hum, I'm gonna hit 35 jacks. I can hit 285. Yeah. So nobody realizes it.
We should do a mechanical breakdown on him. By the way, Bryce Harper in his last 162 games. This is what the Phillies will be missing. This is why we're doing.
Yeah, I know.
This is why we're doing this segment. This is why we're doing this break. I'm not an idiot. 326 batting average, a 1.069 OPS, 122 runs, 42 home runs, 117 RBIs, 99 extra base hits, 17 stolen bases, 8.2 wins above replacement. That's what the Phillies will be missing, and that's why we're talking about their lineup.
And that's why the Phillies went out and got him too. I mean, he is what I like about, yeah, he's a good player, but he's so passionate.
Yeah.
Like he knew as soon as he got hit, he broke his thumb, right? Mm-hmm. Like he knew, and he was frustrated. It almost looks like you see a running back go down, in the middle of the season that's having a great year, they're gone for the rest of the year. Like his passion just flows through and the energy that he brings. So it was sad to watch, and it shouldn't have happened, I mean, get it, pitchers, whatever, lose control. Hopefully that's what it was. And they don't have as much, stick on their hands anymore, to control the ball, if that could be an excuse. But what it comes down to is a guy got hit in a bad spot, and what stinks is one little slip or one little mistake by a pitcher could ruin a team's entire season. Yeah. And that's possibly what happened. But hey, you know what? Maybe he heals up in 2 months. Maybe he feels really great. The next 8 weeks, he gets healed up. His body feels good. And then he has a couple of rehab assignments and boom, they're in the playoffs. You never know what's going to happen.
I was watching a rerun of Yellowstone a couple of days ago. And when Kevin Costner's character, they literally take like a butter knife and cut him open because they have to do something with his spleen or ulcer. I don't know. But I was cringing watching it, right? I'm like, yeah. That's kind of the same reaction I had when Bryce Harper got hit in the thumb.
Yeah.
It was kind of, and you kind of know if you watch the game a lot that thumb was probably broken. So our best wishes to him, and hopefully the Phillies can figure out their lineup. I think the suggestions that I gave, would work.
You gave.
I did. Email us jumbopodcast21@gmail.com. All your questions, concerns, comments. Let's get into our main topic today, a mental analysis about hitting. Ted Williams used to say hitting is 50% mental, everything from preparation to when you're in the box to post at bats. And that is something, post at bats, let's circle that. That is something that is oftentimes overlooked, the mental battle between yourself, your psyche, and of course, that side that wants to be positive and that side that wants to have success.
Yeah, you have to be able to learn from, that's just being a good athlete. Learn from your prior experiences, whether it's in the field or whether it's in the batter's box. So, what happened, and I preach this to my players, I beat them up with it, softball, baseball, doesn't matter, 10 years old, 20, 25 years old, doesn't matter. Make adjustments. This is a game of adjustments. Make an adjustment. And if you're rolling over, right, in BP and you do 2 in a row, don't roll over the third time. If you're late on fastballs, your first at bat, do not be late on fastballs, your second at bat. If you're early on breaking pitches, your first at bat, sit down, walk yourself through that at bat. Okay, I was early on breaking pitch. Well, they're going to go right back to the breaking pitch, right? If you look like a horse's, butt on breaking pitches, you're probably going to see 2 to 3 of them your next at bat. Go ahead and sit on those pitches. So, arguably, the game is more than 50%. I would say at the amateur level, it's probably 50% mental and physical. At the major league level, I would say it's closer to 80% mental because their mechanics are good by then. There's not huge gaping holes in the mechanics or they wouldn't be there. So, most of it is that approach and that mindset and being prepared, to be your best in the batter's box. But what comes with that is, knowing what the pitcher is trying to do to you. And then, a separate part of that is anxiety, right? And knowing the situation and being able to breathe and being able to relax and slow the game down and stay within the parameters of you as a hitter. If you're a, high school kid and you're 160 pounds and you only hit the ball 90 miles an hour in games, then let's not launch balls 35 degrees. Let's not try to hit balls out of the park. Let's try to hit a line drive, over the infielder's head or a line drive back through the middle. Don't get bigger than the situation. And that's one of the hard parts. I will say the best players that I've ever coached are players that strive in those situations. They may not have the best mechanics. They may not be the best players, but when the game is on the line, they shine. And that's a very difficult thing to replicate with players. Like, I have a great player here. Why can't I get you to do that when there's money on the line? Mm-hmm. And then some guys just get into that moment and they just thrive and their heart rate slows down for whatever reason. And I wish I could bottle it. Is it, something a sports psychiatrist, can help with? Possibly, but it could just be the way that they're hardwired. And that's all part of the psyche of baseball. And coaches have to find that. Coaches have to understand which players do better in stressful situations. This player may have better ability and better natural, physical tools, but you know what? When the game's on the line, this is the person I would bet on.
Now, do you think, I was wondering this because pitching has always been ahead in the game of baseball. They always have had the advantage because the more that they fail, that goes against them. The more you fail in baseball, it doesn't really affect a hitter as much. Do you think pitching is ahead of hitting on the mental side of things? At least in terms of helping a player develop and helping a player's psyche?
No, I think they're robots out there. I think from a young age, pitchers are told what to do. Throw the ball here. They're taught what pitches to throw, and then the coaches call the pitches. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, that's the name of the game from age like 12 to 22. Is these pitchers are just, okay, they get a sign and then they do it. So I don't think pitchers are out there thinking. Now, maybe some are learning as their college coach is calling pitches, but as their 12-year-old travel coach is calling pitches, they're probably not understanding why certain pitches are being called. We don't have those conversations with young players and the catcher and the pitcher together. So no, I wouldn't say that they're ahead of the game in the mental aspect because we're reacting to them. They're just figuring out, they may have good reports on people, but I wouldn't call that necessarily a mental. They're not making adjustments all the time. Do they make adjustments from pitch to pitch based on, I'm leaving the ball up? Mm-hmm. That's a mental adjustment, or I'm pulling to the glove side too much. I don't know a ton about pitching. So, those are adjustments that you're making mentally. Oh, I need to make that change. And then you make it physically. But in terms of the psyche and trying to adjust on the fly, I think hitters have had, not to say that they all do, but the hitters have had that kind of ingrained in them for a very long time because we can't hit for them. We could make them bunt every time and that would take it away. But pitchers are just told what to do, throw it here. Okay, throw this one slower. Okay, throw this one inside. Okay, throw this one outside. And they don't get that learning experience sometimes at the younger age, which I think is sad. Having a conversation with a pitcher. So say, a hitter takes a really good swing on a fastball, mm-hmm. and then the pitcher throws another fastball and that player smokes it, right? Somewhere. Or for instance, a player's late. This is probably a better example. A hitter's late on 2 or 3 fastballs, or one fastball, and then the pitcher throws a slider or a changeup and speeds up the hitter's bat, and then that batter gets a hit. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then you have that conversation as a coach. Hey, when somebody is really late on your fastball, don't speed up their bat by throwing a pitch that's less. Let's start moving fastballs inside to speed up your fastball, right? Or elevate it so that they can't catch up to it. But if you throw a softer pitch, you're helping. Oh, geez, that makes sense. But what happens is the coach makes that call. They call a fastball. The guy's late. Then they throw an off-speed pitch. The guy's on it and gets the base hit. And it's on the coach, right? The coach made a bad decision there, but nobody learns from that. And what coaching is all about is teaching kids, why? Like, this is why we don't do that. So if kids don't fail, even in the mental aspect of pitch calling, right?
Yeah.
Then we're not good instructors. We're not helping them. And unfortunately, that's what we're making. We're making robots. They look at a wristband. Okay, 4-5-2. Okay, bunt, or whatever it is. And it's like, okay, let's have some feel. In pro ball, a lot of times it's like, okay, runner on second, nobody out, get them over. Maybe push bunt. Do it on your own. They're not going to even give you that sign. You better know how to find a way to get that player over. Okay. Or first and second, nobody out. You may look down at the third base coach and he's like, okay, let's see what this guy knows. They're pushing that envelope. And then boom, I'm going to bunt to third base on this one. And then if you don't, then they'll have a conversation with you and tell you. Maybe in the playoffs it's different, but that's the learning experience of minor league baseball. That's why minor league baseball is so great, because they let kids play. They work them out. Hey, we do our base running, we do our relays and cutoffs, we do all that kind of stuff. But when the game starts, the catcher's calling it. The pitchers are, communicating with the catcher on. They have a plan beforehand. Okay, this guy we want to attack here. And then they follow that plan, and then the pitching coach is there saying, okay, we did a good job or we didn't do a good job. And then guess what? We're gonna have a meeting tomorrow morning before the game or in the afternoon, and we're going to talk about what your outing was like. And that's coaching. Maybe they didn't, it's not win at all costs. Win at all costs at 10U or 12U or 14U. It's about development of young players. It really is. And that's what's going to help the game down the road.
Me personally, another little personal story about young Jimbo. I always cared a lot about batting average, right? What my batting average was when I was younger. And I didn't really realize that, yes, the batting average matters, but there's so many other elements to the game that I have to be good at, including the 5 tools, right? Hitting, hit for power, run, throw, and field, right? And I kind of overlooked that, and I just worried about batting average. Or some players, they worry too much about their statistics. And when you get to the college level, the professional level, you see those statistics, good or bad, on that video board every single night. How do you put those statistics out of your head and mentally get in the right place to be a productive hitter?
Yeah, you have to have a routine, and you have to work at your craft. So if you feel prepared because you worked on it, you did your drills, I give all my players a progression. Like, we're going to do this many of the bottom hand drill, top hand. Every single day, it's a routine. It might be 5 swings of each. Okay. But you go through your routine, you feel solid. You're going into the game. You maybe you have a center, you always look at a certain part of your bat, or you look at the foul pole, or, something on your wrist, your batting glove, something that's always there. You look at that, you take a deep breath, right? You have a routine with your breath, and then you step in the box a certain way every time. And then it's just you and the pitcher, and everything else is a blur, right? Everything else is gone. We have to have that routine. If you don't have that routine, then all of a sudden you start hearing people in the other dugout, or you start hearing fans or your parents, right? In the background, or the hecklers when you're at a higher level. Sometimes a lower level, I guess. But if you have that routine, it makes life a little bit easier. It's never easy when you're struggling. It's never easy when you see your name on the scoreboard and it says, you're hitting 150. Even if you're on bases, it's 450, where you're like, I'm really contributing to this team. That batting average really does kind of glare out, if you're not getting hits all the time. And I think that, always looking at the positive, never a bad thing, but yeah, staring at that number and having people yell at you and tell you you're a bum, that's hard, right? But use it to fuel yourself. I'm 44 years old. I haven't played in a competitive game since 2001. I remember in pro ball, I remember this 21 years ago, I remember hitting 0.050 my first year of pro ball, and there were about 80 fans, and there were 3 old ladies that were just, and I'm talking like mid to late 60-year-olds, telling me that I shouldn't be playing, you bum, you're a waste of space, this and that. Like, I can still remember that. And having to see your name on the board, and then boom, I know I've talked about this, but I got a meaningless base hit in a blowout game, and I can still feel that hit. And then from that point on, I hit over 500 the rest of the year. But if those old ladies, they were getting into my, like, I remember it to this day. So it obviously bothered me at that time. And you have to find a way to filter that out when you walk from the on deck circle to home plate. I obviously wasn't doing that at that time.
Well, your dad, and we're running out of time here, but I do want to bring this up. Hopefully we can get to our listener questions, maybe not. But this is very, very important as it relates to our topic this week, episode 104, mental analysis about hitting. Your dad wrote in his book, The Mental Side of Hitting, quote, there is also an intellectual segment of hitting because without rational thought and preparation based on previous experiences, even the best style and hitting technique can feel like rolling a boulder uphill. No words have ever been truer when it comes to hitting a baseball.
Yeah, it's like having, I mean, this is probably a bad analogy, but it would be like, the military having a missile with no radar, right? They don't know where it's going. I got this really cool missile that, could help my troops on the ground, but I don't know where it's going, and that's what it is. You have a great swing and great mechanics, but you're swinging at bad pitches and your timing is off and your plan is off, and mentally you're not there because you went out the night before or your boyfriend or girlfriend, broke up with you, and and it doesn't matter how good you are, you're going to lose that. So being strong mentally and psychologically is, I'll tell you what, it's more important than having good mechanics, because you can have bad mechanics and still think you're the greatest hitter in the world and be confident and have a plan, and you're going to find barrels. If you're athletic enough, you'll find barrels.
All right, so let's quickly get to our listener question. This comes to us from an Epstein hitting disciple. Armando sent to us via jimbopodcast21@gmail.com. You're shaking your head yes, so you know Armando. He writes, hello, my name is Armando. I am a certified Epstein instructor. I would like to know how to help my kids who are baseball and golfers at the same time. I feel like these kids get real long in their posture during their swings. Is there a cue I can give them to help them to be able to distinguish between each of their swings? Thank you. From the state of cheese and beer. That is Wisconsin. That's from Armando from Wisconsin, writing to us via jimbopodcast21@gmail.com. Great question, Armando.
It's hard. Have them play the opposite handed. So my kid plays golf right-handed and plays softball left-handed. So we don't have to worry about it. And I will tell you,
for your brain, by the way, it's like brushing your teeth with the other hand, non-dominant.
It's very
hand.
good to do things differently like
Opens
that.
Up the other side of the brain.
I will tell you, when I have her hit right-handed in softball, just for fun, I'll throw her. She moves really well. Like, her hips rotate really well, maybe even better than her left-handed swing. But she goes under everything. Her hands drop and she goes under everything. So, and we don't even play that much golf, but it's the physics behind it is identical. Your hips lead, you're creating separation, you're trying to stay inside the ball. The difference is the golf ball is obviously low and on the ground, but it's also deeper in the zone than where we would hit a baseball. So everything stops a lot earlier in golf. Our chest is down, our head is down here, where in baseball or softball, it's out in front, and we essentially release everything later. It's difficult because in golf, you want bat drag. Okay, so in golf, you want to get this elbow in here as you're sliding underneath.
Your right elbow, back elbow, right.
Your back elbow. So for me, when I play golf, because I always demonstrate this way in baseball, it kills me. So I'll come over the top because I get to the top of my swing, and instead of being like this coming down, I'll be like that coming down. So there's not a right or wrong way. Here's what I would suggest. Practice your short game in golf. Practice 120 yards in. Be really, really good at that. Your short game, your pitches, your sand game, and not worry about mechanics as much. And then for your long game, take a shorter backswing. When you start to get your backswing longer in golf, this elbow from their softball or baseball swing will start to get up and open, and that'll cause them. But if they can keep the elbow still as they turn their backswing, they won't want to get in that position. So that's the advice that I would give for golf: is master the short game, beat it down the middle, master the short game. You'll be a good golfer. And then when you get older and you're not playing baseball or softball anymore, you can sling that right elbow and right arm in there as much as you can to create more lag.
Great question, Armando. Thank you very much. We do have another one. We'll get to it next week. So MLB_ZD, ZITY on YouTube. They left us a question. We'll get to that next week. So hang tight, nice. I promise. Speaking of next week, we are breaking down the swing mechanical breakdown series. Xander Bogaerts, who is I was reading on MLB trade rumors that he might be leaving Boston after the year. Shh, don't tell anybody. It's like a big secret. It's like a big secret. MLB trade rumors. They designed it as it's like a big secret. Like, oh, he could be leaving.
I know. Yeah, we know. They're right most of the time too. Yeah. Those guys.
So yeah, next week, Xander Bogaerts, we'll be breaking down his swing. Don't forget Cross Functionality, a podcast about coaching intersection between baseball and softball, male and female, hosted by myself, former college baseball player, and Cassie Riley Bosia, former softball player, national champion at the University of Alabama. July 13th, first episode. Looking forward to that. What do you got coming up quickly at the lab?
At the lab, we have our college program that's kicking, trying to get prepared for next season. And we did have players going, we had a couple of junior college players going to four-year schools now, so that's pretty exciting. So they're training there with Matt and Kenny pretty much every day, offense and defense. They're hitting, and then they're doing, a lot of defensive work. And then we have another catcher's camp coming up as well. So if you're a young catcher looking to get reps and skills and learn something new, make sure you log on and check us out.
All right. Well, Ep, great job this week. Episode 104. Like and subscribe. Of course, subscribe on the YouTube page, the Lab Epstein Hitting Podcast YouTube page. If you haven't done so already, episode 105, breaking down the swing of Xander Bogaerts. Next week, we will talk to you then. Happy 4th of July. Take care.